The research question which was focused on in this paper was, under which conditions or characteristics is stimulus relations most successful, and how will these conditions affect the technology's potential to spread throughout learning in the future? This paper compared studies on stimulus equivalence and stimulus relations. Stimulus equivalence is described by Cooper, Herod, and Heward as the emergence of accurate responding to untrained and non-reinforced stimulus relations following the reinforcement of responses to some stimulus relation. This is achieved by testing for reflexivity, symmetry, and transitivity. Reflexivity occurs when, in the absence of training and reinforcement, a response will select a stimulus that matches itself. Symmetry occurs with the reversibility of the sample stimulus and comparison stimulus. So if A equals B, then B equals A. Transitivity is derived stimulus relations that emerged as a product of training to or other stimulus relation. The following characteristics were used to help answer the research question previously mentioned. The first characteristic was participants. During this paper, they examined characteristics of participants used in all of these studies. Some of the characteristics of the participants were age, diagnoses, and skill deficits. This would help determine which population benefited from approaches based on derived stimulus relations. Also looks at which populations have been studied less, who should be targeted for future studies. Instructional stimuli was another characteristic used. Sensory modality and arbitrariness, so what types of materials were used, pictures, letters, words, objects, etc. And was it auditory or visual? What types of skills sets have been established? Has it used more laboratory instructional stimuli or natural environmental stimuli? And has it used stimuli that are related or unrelated to each other? What types of skills were taught? It's also looked at types of relations established. So it looked at if the relations established were sameness based on equivalence, opposition, or more than or less than. Another characteristic was emergent skills. So what sort of practical skills might be established? Which untrained skills emerged during the procedure? Generalization was another characteristic used. So do the skills generalize across novel stimuli or tasks? Long-term maintenance or stability. So how long are the emergent behaviors maintained? And the sustainability of the intervention. It also looked at procedures. So did the students use a computerized program or were the instructions automated? And settings. So were they taking place in the laboratory, school, day programs, etc. The results of this study were socially and educationally significant. Rehfeldt found that stimulus relations procedures are beneficial for the expansion of receptive and expressive language, as well as other skills that involve responding to stimuli. The results therefore allow individuals to implement the procedures in the most effective way, which will in turn be the most successful for skill acquisition and provide great social significance for the individual. The findings help teach practitioners how to implement these procedures more effectively. The results also show that a variety of skills can be taught using these procedures, and it is relatively easy to implement for teachers, parents, care workers, and practitioners.